Support for Jalen and Jacoby comes from Blue Apron. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh, perfectly portioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes so you can make incredible meals at home. Your favorite Blue Apron recipes are back on the menu for a limited time only. Visit blueapron.com/Jalen to get $30 off your first meal with free shipping.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He's Jalen Rose.
Yes, indeed. What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
4-3-2-1.
Wait a second. We've been rehearsing this forever. You're always complaining about how Reggie's messing up. I messed it up a couple times.
Yep.
And now here you are changing the formats and techniques.
Yep. Well, it took a little hesitation, so I was just trying to get in there and bridge the gap.
So it's on me?
They call that a hook. Anytime I raise my voice to sing, what up, doe? And on the cool check-in, give the people what they want. You know, I've sold out. I'm beyond singing. I see other podcasts carrying a bat now. It's our logo. You don't see Michael Jordan walking around with his tongue out all day.
So what are you saying?
It's his logo.
So here's the thing, though, is we always talk about these
Mr. Me Too's?
The opens. No, that's you. We always talk about the opens to the show, and we finally had a nice streak of 3 of them in a row that were correct, and then you go and change it.
I didn't change it. I'm telling you, if you would have kept flowing, it would have been dope.
Together, we're Jalen Jacoby. What do we do?
Give the people what they want.
Big World Series game tonight between the Dodgers and the Houston Astros. Feel weird saying that. I still feel like the Astros are in the National League.
You remember about a week ago when the entire sports world and multimedia were celebrating this Yankees and Dodgers World Series?
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be coast to coast. It's the first time since the early 80s and Tommy Lasorda. And I'm like, they had Jessica Mendoza on SportsCenter. She couldn't even talk about the current series. They was already asking her about Yankees and Dodgers. And I love New Yorkers and Yankee fans. They're some of the most passionate people in the world.
Here comes the Jalen Rose trick.
Sports.
Love them so much, but
when their squad isn't winning, crickets. Do we have them?
Yeah, we have crickets.
We need the crickets. Because if the Yankees were in it, we'd be leading the show with the World Series. But since the Yankees not in it, we ain't going to talk about it at all. I'm just saying.
We're also preempted on radio. So instead of just giving you guys the little half hour, 22 minutes, we're always going to record some exclusive content for our podcast listeners.
To step 2.
Our favorite fans. Some people say, I love to watch your show. Some people say, I love to listen to your show. And I know the difference because the one that listen, they listen every day. You know, the ones that watch, we're on late at night. When they come home drunk, they check us for 10 minutes and then fall asleep.
Or medicinal.
Yeah, that's how it works with the TV watchers. It's the daily listeners, especially when you listen at work. And if you don't have a job, just listen to us while you work out. The people want to see Kevin Durant doing this ridiculous pregame dance because that's all I care about.
He's trying to actually make sure every limb in his body is just loose and kind of stretching out.
You think that's functional?
Yeah, he's just trying to keeping it loose. You know what I mean? How much did he drop that game?
I don't know. You know I don't like follow-up questions.
They won by 30.
Let's move on. Jalen, I know you love Rick Carlisle.
I do.
He's your guy.
No question.
Shout out.
You have a great relationship with him.
Yes, indeed.
No matter what he does, you always ride for him.
That's what I do for people I got love for.
Well, I know you love him, but Rick Carlisle didn't love this. Rookie, Jordan Mel off the backboard, dunking. After the game, reportedly Rick Carlisle didn't really want to talk to Steve Kerr, and he was upset about it. Jalen Rose, I know you ride for Rick Carlisle, but he's being sensitive here.
Kevin Durant thought it was a bit excessive. You see him put his hand over his mouth. Steph Curry did not know how to respond. You told me how Carlisle responded. Let me tell you how everybody should feel about it.
Okay.
when we beating you by 30, we're going to clown you.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes.
Would he do it in a 2-point game? No.
With his hops? Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so.
No, yes. He has more bounce to the ounce. If he gets a breakaway, he's doing that, period. So he wouldn't be in the game, however, in the first quarter at this point because they have a stacked roster. So I don't personally think he should feel some type of way about it to the point where he's not talking to Steve Kerr about it because Kerr couldn't control it.
Yeah, he didn't call a play. You know, not like he's on the side like, oh, okay, yeah, 2 on the backboard. Like he's got no control over that.
But here's the great thing about sports: when nepotism isn't usually involved, you can actually stop that if you want to.
Sure.
And there was somebody trailing the play. That guy, if he really didn't like it, guess what he could have ran and jumped up in there and tried to disrupt the play.
When he's swinging back off the rim, you know, you could do something.
But there's a secondary comment I have for the guy that tries to interrupt the proceedings. You get really dunked on. It looks really nasty. So he made a choice also. Like, oh, he's slowing down. I'm slowing down too. I ain't trying to get up in there.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure if he was upset at Coach Kerr, he probably was upset with the player that was trailing as well.
We had some hold me back moments, Jalen Rose.
Hold me back.
First, we have LaMarcus Aldridge and Serge Ibaka. What do you think about Aldridge and Ibaka in this hold me back moment?
Again, I want to stress, we don't encourage violence in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you don't really see violence in the NBA. You just see that.
But we don't encourage people pretending to fight either. No. And so when I see some of the trademark hold me back moments, it just shows me the level of discipline sometimes you have to have in the field of combat that we call the NBA when you're playing in close quarters. You're 6'11", 260 pounds. They're throwing forearms. They're throwing shoulders. They're grappling. And then sometimes it's going to get a little testy.
Yeah.
And cooler heads normally prevail 98% of the time. Unfortunately, sometimes players get a little too angry and it goes overboard. I'm glad it didn't take place in this one.
Well, it didn't really take place in this one either. This time we have James Harden and Rio Chalmers.
Well, I know James Harden.
They get mixed up a little bit, and then Rio starts tripping him, and then Harden pushes him to the floor, and then watch Harden here. He ducks behind the referee here. Watch Harden when it starts getting real. He uses the referee as a lead blocker, and then does this little hands up thing. And we weren't the only people to notice his response there. Also, watch this. Trevor Ariza, his own teammate, later in the game, also from Los Angeles, mocking his teammate. I always say you can be mean if you're funny. Was that mean or funny?
That was funny.
That's funny. Even James Harden seemed to like it.
And here's the distinction. I got love for Trevor Ariza, and every time the dynamics of the Rockets get brought up, I always say that he's the second most important player before they got Chris Paul. Now Eric Gordon's balling. Happy to see Eric Gordon balling.
Yep.
But as a wing that they have, because he's a two-way performer, he can catch and shoot the three, and he guards multiple positions.
Yeah, I'd say he's an overlooked important piece of that roster.
But what I would say is he can be the guy to tease James for one reason. Because if it did go down, he'd help him.
Yes, and Ariza was very close to that skirmish. You got a really good look at it. Feels like Markelle Fultz's head has been spinning since he's been in the league. Today, news has broken that he has had fluid drained from his shoulder. He's been struggling with his shoulder ever since training camp started. Jalen, there's been a lot of different theories about this. Adjustments to his shot and it's actually his shoulder is injured. Are the problems with his shooting mental or physical?
Physical.
Explain.
Because I've seen the mechanics of his jump shot change as well as his free throw shooting since he left college. He was more proficient in both areas. This is why he went, where'd he go in the draft?
Number 1.
Exactly. Had he had these issues, you don't think Tatum, you don't think Josh Jackson, somebody else wouldn't have gone number 1?
So what's happening? You think this is just strictly an injury? It's not sort of like the pressure of the league or the pressure of being number 1 or playing in the league, getting into his head. He's a young man. You don't think it's any of that? I'm just reading too much into it being a media guy.
I think it's physical. Now, the thing that really helps, and I've said this on this program.
What really helps, Mr. Rose?
What did I tell people that Ben Simmons and Embiid were going to do when they were out there playing basketball at the same place at the same time for the Sixers?
Tear up the league.
All I know is this is what I'm seeing. I had to watch this against my Detroit Pistons recently, and I was not happy about it at all.
Well, guess what? Joel Embiid put 30 on your Detroit Pistons.
I saw each point.
And had this to say about Andre Drummond after the game. Defensively, he doesn't play any defense. When we started the game, he was being aggressive and he was talking too. So in my mind, I was like, you want to do that? I'm going to kick your bleep then. So that's what I did. Is it refreshing to hear someone talking badly about opponents as often as Embiid does?
Here's what's refreshing, and I want to say this respectfully. So the league changes over errors, and rightfully so.
Sure.
So there was the era where physical intimidation was a part of the game. Hard fouls, physical plays. A lot of times when the first person would whack you and the second person would knock you on the floor.
Clean you up. Can't call 2 fouls.
And then all of a sudden it was the era of the big man was so dominant that you had to decide if you were going to put him on the line or not, like a Shaquille O'Neal
comes to mind.
Or play the percentages. Tim Duncan as well. He wasn't a great free throw shooter.
Good point.
And so then it became the LeBron era. And a lot of what encompassed in his era as I say one of the because Kobe Bryant was still playing a lot of his career.
Sure.
Was that a lot of the players were more friends off the floor. Not that the league hasn't always been a fraternity. Look over my shoulder.
Of course. And it's also a function of you've known each other since you were 12. You have the same age. The cream of the crop plays together for a long time. Were you supposed to hate somebody from from 12 to 22?
But here's the difference, though. They would do this kiss pregame. But let me tell you two things they wouldn't do. They wouldn't leave their current team to go play with the other one. Nope. And two, because they did that kiss, they wanted to show everybody else on their team, I'm going to go at him harder than anybody ever has. And so they would hard foul one another. And what eventually ended up happening now is, as we enter the Banana Boat era, is, yes, we're homies off the floor, but we're working out in the summer too. We're playing on the same squads as well.
Back to Embiid, do you say it is refreshing?
I like Embiid now as he's turned the page he's needling Whiteside. He's needling Andre Drummond. And they're not just point guards in the league. He's needling guys that are his age that play his position that he's going to have to play against for a really long time.
And I also think that there is a part of it that is sort of friendly fire. Like, I don't think if Embiid and Whiteside were the same place at the same time, they've had problems with each other. They'd probably give each other a pound and laugh. But it's refreshing for me to hear somebody right after the game say, Andre Drummond doesn't play defense. Yeah.
LeBron James was able to disable Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, or dismantle the Bulls, the Pacers, the Celtics got older, the Pistons got older. All of his competition to the point where he doesn't have any rivals. And that speaks to his all-time iconic greatness. I bow down and salute the king. However, Joel Embiid, I appreciate the fact that he's ruffling some feathers. And like you said, they might not have a physical beef with one another, but once you make it public and you disrespect me, now Andre Drummond has to come. I didn't know when Philly and Detroit played, but now I know they play on December 2nd.
Yep.
And I hope they play in Detroit, and I better be there.
Shout out.
So, a couple customers were working with Amazon, okay? And what they ordered were 27-gallon plastic storage bins. And the storage bins came in a box, and they went to go pick up that box. They're like, this is heavy. What's going on here? These boxes weigh 93.5 pounds. Some heavy plastic storage boxes.
Sound like
Guess
a
what?
radio station.
Guess what? Those boxes were full of 65 pounds of medicinal.
Oh, they were sending it to the wrong people. They thought I was going to Snoop or Redman. Just went to the wrong address. That's
so
all.
if you were just a regular civilian that ordered some plastic boxes and you got those and they were full of medicinal, would you alert the authorities?
You have to get on the phone, Google somebody that lives that lifestyle that's way more equipped to handle that sort of shipment than you do. Normally, they could be rappers or entertainers.
You know, I would sell it or I would use it. Here's the thing about those people I need them to understand. What you don't want to do is have someone knock on your door and say, oh, by the way, I believe you have something of mine. And you say, oh,
like
you know what?
movie.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, oh, what do you mean? And be like, cool, you got 24 hours to, get it back. I don't want those problems at all.
Fantasy sports just got a lot easier to play and win with the hottest new games by Dober.Games. No more long lineups or complicated salary caps. Create at least 3 matchups and you're good to go. Make any combination of matchups you want. Play all quarterbacks this week, receivers next week, even make picks across multiple sports. Just pick 3 matchups to win cash prizes. Dober.Games is one of the fastest, easiest ways to play daily fantasy sports. That's DOBER.Games. Dober.Games. Use promo code HOOPS to enter a free contest with cash prizes just for joining. You can win cash fast, easy at Dober.Games. Sign up right now at Dober.Games. Use promo code HOOPS to enter a free contest with cash prizes just for joining. Void where prohibited. See site for restrictions. Must be of legal age in your state or area. Fantasy sports just got a whole lot easier to play. Play big, win bigger at Dober.Games.
Ladies.
Hey, ladies. See, we listen to the people. You see that? Like what you did there, Reg. It's cute, man. It's cute.
It's cute, man.
It's cute, man. It's cute.
If you call 98580 Jalen, you can leave us a voicemail. If you leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the show just like this. Ladies, tomorrow's Woman Crush Wednesday. We have a special guest tomorrow. We're not going to announce it. We're going to hit you with it. Very excited about it. And
can we pump it on social and do all of these great things and have her do it also? Because I want the entire world to appreciate our amazing guest.
I love the staff of this show, the very hardworking staff.
I didn't say anything negative about our staff.
Ladies, if you leave a voicemail tomorrow, we will play it on the show. Just like this.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. What up, Doe? This is Bob in the D.C. area representing the D. Love the show. Hey, Jalen, when watching you guys on TV a few days ago, I did not see either Smokey Robinson or the Supremes on your wall. They're still on the wall, right? And were there any reasons for your choosing the particular Pure Smokey album cover and the Supremes Sing Howlin' Dozier Howlin' cover? Be interested in that. Jacoby, I think you once said there are no new program ideas. So if that's true, what inspired the hit the brakes or move on and the am I crazy ideas? They seem novel to me, but then a 71-year-old guy may be missing a lot. And finally, Jalen, my professor of basketball science, were you opposed to the NBA's changes in the illegal defense rules when they were announced? What do you think of them now? Have they been good for the game? And finally, what do you think of the defensive 3-second rule, which I think came out at about the same time? Keep giving the people what they want.
What up, Doe Bob?
I love Bob.
Representing D.C.
That's my guy.
The other D.
He cares more about this program than we do.
Keep giving the people what they want.
You're an amazing supporter of the program because you did something that 98% of people don't realize. Even Jacoby doesn't realize.
What?
That's when I'm not in studio. Yep. When I'm in studio, if you look over both of my shoulders, you can see Smokey. You can see the Supremes.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not in studio, television, podcast, trick, that part gets cut out.
And we sold out. Bob, we sold out a long time ago. These used to be a Pop the Trunk production. I literally used to push record and then come in here and do the show. There was only 2 people in the studio, Jalen and Jacoby. Since then, we've grown. And what happens when you grow is people start paying more attention. Do you know who started paying more attention? The photographers that took the pictures behind us. Do you know what they started doing? Letting ESPN know that they need some dough.
There's a reason why the Jay-Z picture isn't up anymore.
There's a reason why a lot of the images that you saw behind us aren't there anymore.
There's a big reason why the weapons with Magic and Bird and Isaiah, Mark Aguirre and McHale, I wanted those pictures up.
They were up there for a long time.
I truly did. But all of a sudden, when you get popular and you start using somebody's sample, guess what they do? They send you that pink slip.
So we got a couple strongly worded emails.
No question.
got a few strongly worded
Detroit
emails.
is definitely represented with Smokey and the Supremes. No doubt about it.
So he also was specifically referencing that one record, the Holland Dozier Holland record. I've never heard of any of those people.
Well, those records for me just remind me of when you love the album plus the album cover, and you would appreciate this because I think you said you were 71. Being from the Motor City, cleaning up on weekends, we had a component set. The 33, the 45 with the thimble. And so these are the records that I used to be able to flip through, and Mom gave me the opportunity to put them on a record player. So they were sentimental for me.
Now, one thing he said to me is I had said there's no new program ideas. Now, I've been producing television for 17 years, and I've been in original entertainment, creating shows, coming up with segments for shows for a very long time. And there's only so many ways that you can do this. And sure, no one else has Keep Moving or Hit the Brakes, or no one else is Soft Move or Boss Move, but the structure, like the underlying ideas are the same. And a lot of times when you do this, you do something, and then you see a Mr. Me Too do something, and sometimes the Mr. Me Too's aren't just biting it from you. It's just they just naturally, organically came up with a very similar idea.
And Jacoby's a lot more humble than me because I take pride in being original, and I don't mind when people bite our style or copy what we do. Just credit us.
Yep. You say more humble, I say less sensitive.
No, I'm not sensitive. I don't cry about it.
No. But finally, Bob hit us with the I've been paying attention. I watched the show question, and then had two great questions. What do you think about the implementation of illegal defense and defensive 3 seconds in the NBA?
Playing in a league where you had to be arm's length from the offensive player, or it was considered illegal defense, it was a lot more wide open to the point if you beat your man one-on-one, you was getting a layup or a dunk.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think a lot of younger people, if you are 27, 28 and younger, and you're listening to this or watching this, you don't really understand how different the game was before this rule.
And I want to just give a different visual without getting too technical. Now, defensively, you can play what's considered boxes and elbows, which means you have two players free throw line extended, which are called elbows, and two people on the boxes, which normally people post up at underneath the hoop. That's basically zoning up. So if a team was playing any sort of zone, 2-3, 1-2-2, those were the standard positions that you occupy. Back then, you could not do that. So you had to make a choice to A, guard your man one-on-one defensively, and or B, now you had to make a choice either to help or stay with the shooter. Now you're able to do something that's also called fake and fall.
Hedging.
Where you're close enough and you're one or two steps away from the opportunity to help, where you can fake, and then if they're out of control, you can either fall back to your man in the passing lane to contest the shot or try to steal the ball. Here's the second part of the fall that you didn't see a lot of in the past. You could fall down and get a block or a charge because your body's in that position. So the game was remotely different. It was a game that was dominated by scoring big men back then. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, David Robinson, Akeem Olajuwon, like those guys, when they got it on the post, you had to make a decision.
Also, a double team was way different back then, too, because then if you double, you can't have the rest of the defense adjust around you and kind of shell zone it so they can get to two shooters at once. If you double, that guy is open.
I'll give you a perfect example. Michael Jordan, NBA Finals, he's doubled on the post, he kicks it out to John Paxson. That was a distinct choice that the defense needed to make based on the rules at the time. As it relates to the offensive changes, what did he say
about? He's talking about defensive 3 seconds.
Defensive 3 seconds. I don't mind the same. I don't mind the 2.9. And basically, what that means is you can't be in the paint 3 seconds.
Because if you don't have to be next to your man, and let's say you're DeAndre Jordan and the ball's on the other side of the court, he can't just hang out under the hoop. You know, what he has to do is decide which side of the block he has to get out of. Now, what they do in today's game, you'll see a lot of is hang out on the side of the hoop for 2.5 seconds, get both their feet out, go right back to the other side of the hoop. But even that, if you're a smart offensive player, you can work around that. Thank you so much for the call, Bob. I like Bob. Call us back, Bob.
Keep giving the people what they want.
Is that John Gruden? Was that John Gruden disguised as Bob? No, I know that was Bob. But listen. Play it again, Reggie.
Keep giving the people what they want.
We could get John Gruden on the phone. I got him on the text.
Can you just text John Gruden right now just a strange emoji? Just text him an emoji of just like a, just text him an emoji of like the dancing girl or something.
I'll send him one of Chucky.
And just see what he sends back. Just text a weird emoji to him, like a motor scooter. No. Jalen put his phone down, by the
Now,
way.
if you want an adverse response, I know somebody you could do that to. Stan Van Gundy. He wouldn't be happy.
If you just text him a random emoji?
Yes.
He's serious?
Of course
He
he's
got a
serious.
sense of humor.
He does, but not during
Not when they're
basketball
losing.
season.
Yeah, not when the Pistons are losing to the Sixers.
I love you, Stan. Thank you for your support of JRLA.
Shout out.
And doing a great job coaching my hometown Pistons. One of the top coaches in the game.
Just lost to the Sixers.
He wasn't playing.
He should be. I see his handles. If you go to our Reddit page, which is reddit.com/r/Jalen and Jacoby, you'll see a community of people talking about the show, clowning us, supporting us, and I'm in there all the time reading to see what they're talking about. And we have questions that you can send into the show from there. One of those questions is from Tookin. Crispy corner piece of the brownie tray or soft middle of the rack brownie? I got a strong take on this one.
You can go ahead and cook.
Don't give me the dry corner piece of the brownie because you don't get soft brownie. You get that chewy brownie crust thing, and that piece is usually pretty small, so you're getting like 40% hard, stale, corkboard crust brownie action.
I was living that this morning on a flight from taking an American Airlines flight. That's what they gave me. A biscuit with egg and a little swine sprinkled inside of it. And the ends of it was hard, so I just literally ate the middle and didn't eat the ends like I don't eat the ends of bread when I buy a loaf.
Thanks so much for the question. Let's listen to another voicemail.
What up, Doe? This is Zach from San Antonio. I have two soft move or boss move questions for both of y'all. First one, soft move or boss move? Knowing your voicemail phone number by memory. Second question, soft move or boss move? Being 28 and trying to go out with a woman that's maybe mid-40s. Is that okay? Is that really cool? Like, I don't know why I'm asking y'all, but honestly, I'm digging this one old chick. Well, she's not that old, but she's in the 40s and thinking about trying to holler. So, but I am worried about relations, if she's married or not. I don't even know that. But this is a question, is that a soft move or boss move? Love the show, love the podcast. Shout out to the staff. I apologize, I don't remember y'all names except for Reggie. But shout out to y'all. Y'all still important. And, yeah, peace.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love. Thank you for saying our entire staff is important to you because they're extremely important to us.
Very important to us, too. Can't do the show without them.
A couple of things. First off, I don't want to bury the lead, but you need to find out if she's married, got a boyfriend or not, regardless of how old she is.
Let's just assume he's pursuing her.
You can't pursue somebody else's woman. Watch the news. Pick up the newspaper. If you have not paid attention, the relations between men and women, starting with Adam and Eve, have brought down countries.
It's been strained. Yeah.
Okay? Somebody will not be happy with you pushing up on their significant other. You're going to upset someone.
Yes.
And you're going to hurt somebody else's feelings.
And just because you've never seen their face and you don't know their name doesn't mean they don't have one.
Correct. Well said. The other thing, if you're 28, it doesn't matter how much older she is than you, as long as she's not 55
or too young. Like I understand that legally the age of consent is 18, but my thing is more like if you pay for your own apartment, you get to a certain point. Like if you're say over 24 and you're dating someone who's younger than you, male or female, I don't care about gender in this conversation, they should not live with their parents, or at least no, they shouldn't live with their parents. And they should be over 20.
I would say if you're 28, they should be out of college.
Yes. You shouldn't be dating a teenager. They should be out of college. Yeah. I think you need...
They should have a job.
There's got to be a 4-year window. I said there's a 4-year window when you're in your young 20s. A 4-year window. But then... When you get older, all bets are off.
You see what I said?
Yeah, all bets are off.
28 to 50.
Whatever.
Go for it.
Oh, 60, 70, whatever makes you happy. At that point, you're all grown adults. Who cares?
I want to teach you a term you already know. If you're 28 and they're in their 30s, that's a Puma. They're in their 40s or older, they're called Cougars.
And whatever it is in your 50s, if you guys are happy, who cares?
Run it.
If you have rhythm with somebody that's 30 years older than you and you're over 27, who cares? As long as you guys are happy.
But again, if she has a significant other, fall back.
Favorite mail carrier in the land?
Big Crown.
The greatest mail carrier out there. Is it a little crown or a big crown?
Big Crown.
Big Crown. He asked, was your stint with the Phoenix Suns a keep getting them checks moment?
Absolutely.
What else were you doing there?
And by the way, I'll take it a step further.
Oh, yes. Also,
not only was I trying to get a check, I was trying to get a ring.
Yeah, that's ring chasing and getting checks.
I was doubling down, Big Crown.
Yeah, everything.
I don't play.
It was like when you're in Vegas and it was up for a while and then went down for a while. You've got 200 chips in front of you. Just like, you know what? This is either going to go one way or the other one. I'm putting all 200 chips on this hand. That has never worked out for me in my life, by the way.
It didn't work out for me either.
Nah, I saw how it worked out. Y'all should have stayed on the bench. Y'all should have stayed on the bench.
That's your man. That's your man.
Troy wants to know, is eating Taco Bell cultural, a failed test, or both?
Eating Taco Bell is not cultural.
It is a failed test.
But it is a failed test.
It's a failed test. It's a failed test.
That's munchy food all day.
You know when you're at Taco Bell, you're ordering that 9th and that 10th item? Like, come on now.
Because you walk in and be like, give me 15 tacos.
Yeah, you're like, I want 2 soft tacos,
too many.
2 hard tacos. I like Mexican melts too. Well, what's that, a cheesy gordita double layer burrito? Oh, I need some nachos too. And next thing you know, you see all the food, and you're like, well, what did I just do? What did I just do to myself? I need to give this away to somebody. Great question from Caprice Boy, something I struggle with. When I answer this, I'm not going to answer it. I want you to tell me what I should do. Okay? Caprice Boy, really, this is something that I struggle with in my life. I'm not kidding. Jacoby, what name do you use to introduce yourself to people?
Can I answer this for you?
That's what I asked you to do.
Okay. I don't listen to you often. A couple of things. This wasn't as hard probably until 6 years ago.
Yes.
When you're not a celebrity or a public figure,
which I am not,
or people don't watch you on your podcast or television or listen to you on the radio.
People do that.
Okay. You can normally be called a nickname or whatever you desire by your friends and family or people that you meet.
Yes.
Once you become famous, people start knowing your government name, then they have choices.
Well, see, I know that, first of all, if someone I know watches or listens to the show, I just say, call me Jacoby. But people outside of that, you know, like I will usually start with David. However, if we have people in common and they call me Jacoby, then I'll just quickly, I usually start with David because it's respectful. And then at some point, they're going to naturally, or I'll be like, yo, call me Jacoby.
So in other words, the medicinal fans call you Jacoby. Got
it. Yes. But like my barber right now calls me David. And I know he knows that I have this show. And at some point I'm going to be like, yeah, just...
Our big boss calls you Dave.
Really? That's not good for my job security. That's not good for my job security.
So I think that's what I'm going to start calling you.
That's not good for my job security. That's a concern. Oh, no, I'm sad and scared. Let's play another voicemail.
Hey, guys. It's Leon from Queens. Shout out to Red. Shout out to all the guys in production. Only got 2 things, and I wanted to let you guys know I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget it. Taking the train, soft move. You can try it for the experience, but it doesn't really change. It's dirty. There are rats, smells. You only got to do it once. It doesn't really change. I only do it when utterly necessary, and I will say if you live in the actual city, it is more convenient, so Jacoby's right about that. The second thing is Seinfeld is not cultural. Seinfeld is my second favorite show, only second to the King of Queens. Seinfeld is not cultural. It is for everyone. I love it. I watch it all the time. I watch the reruns. Seinfeld's for everybody. Get the people what they want. Shout out, Queens.
So you take the train and I go cultural.
All right, so here's the thing with Leon. Leon's from Queens. You can tell he's from Queens because his favorite show is King of Queens. Yeah. And he has a car. If I lived in Queens, I would have a car and I would drive around because there's really only like 2 train lines and they're not that convenient. It is inconvenient in Queens. Yeah. I was discussing the island of Manhattan, during which you can either take the train, it'll take you 10 minutes, or take a car, it takes you 30 minutes. You can decide yourself which is a soft move or boss move. I'd rather be around the smells and the rats and take 10 minutes to get where I'm going than to sit in a vehicle and take 30 minutes where I'm going, especially when it's like a half a mile.
Well, I'm with you. I'd rather take 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
You're so rich.
But also, the thing is, did he say something about rats?
Yeah. There's some rats on the train.
Okay, there's none in the Uber.
No.
Okay,
You're so
haven't seen
rich.
that yet. All right, so let me take the second part of this. How many black guys are in, or young ladies are in Seinfeld?
They're in there.
How many?
Main characters?
Yes.
You know,
okay.
They have a lot of guests and such.
So in other words,
there's
that
a lot
is
of people
cultural.
I've seen it. There have been some people that look like you that have appeared on that program over the course of it.
Got you. So in other words, over the 500 people that were on 13,000 seasons, 3 of them.
Yeah, something like that.
Got it.
Got it.
You're one of the 3 black people that watch us, and we're glad you watch our show.
No, that you are wrong.
Talking about
you are wrong. You're talking to Leon?
Yeah.
No, he's not one. There's a lot of people that look like you that love Seinfeld, Jalen.
Okay.
You're wrong on this one.
Okay.
You're wrong on this one. Trust your friend Jacoby.
Do they wear? Okay.
You're about to get a lot of tweets. You'll see.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You'll see.
Reg,
whatever you were about
Reggie
to say,
Noble
I'm so glad you
too.
didn't say.
Yeah,
whatever you were about to say,
I'm
I'm so glad you didn't say. We kept our job. That guy that calls me Dave didn't fire me.
That's cute, man. That's cute.
See, Lobster Statue hit us up too, Jalen. Lobster Statue used to be a frequent contributor to the show. I don't think we were showing him or her enough love, but he's back, or she's back. Question is, who selects the Twitter questions so I can shout them out and be on the show? Is it Reggie? No. If so, shout to Reggie.
Shout out.
It's a group effort. I look at my mentions all day and pick some of my favorites. Everybody else kind of looks at it, so it switches around. We're not going to do the thing where we name everybody that works in the show. We do that very often.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's not a group effort.
What do you mean?
Because I'm not involved at all.
So when I say group, I'm not including you. Everybody knows that.
In that process.
Everybody knows that. We have meetings and we're like, Jalen, you're invited to this meeting. You're not required to attend. If we have popcorn there, we'll let you know so you'll come.
I'm trying to download this original beat that reminds me of EPMD. It's my thing. That's what I'm focused on.
I've been listening to the Wu-Tang album.
I have not. I'm very disappointed.
Let me tell you about it, Jalen Rose. Let me tell you about it. Not only is it a Wu-Tang album, sounds just like a Wu-Tang album with the Kung Fu samples and everything else, it's got Redman all over it. I think, on top of my head, I'm going to say there's 3 Redman verses on there. Redman does the hook on one song.
I'm so disappointed. You've been working on this show every day, Mr. Noble, and you didn't tell us that you was on this Redman album?
He's a little
on this Wu-Tang album?
It's a side hustle. In his ESPN contract, he's not supposed to do it. Yeah.
I'm downloading it right now.
Redman, play another voicemail, please.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. This is Philip from Louisville, Kentucky. Longtime listener of the pod. I exclusively listen while I'm at work. In fact, I'm even making this phone call from work right now, on the clock. But anyways, I've been watching the Cavs, and I've noticed something different. Kevin Love has gone gray, like, overnight. Like, out of nowhere, the boy has got mad gray hairs. But that's fine. I don't hate on gray hairs, but it makes me wonder, coloring your hair to cover up gray, boss move or soft move? Keep giving the people what they want.
Great question, great question, great question. Let me take this one, Jalen.
Go ahead, my brother.
Covering up your grays is an individual decision. I support whatever makes you happy. I personally would never do it. However, that does not make it a soft move. What I do think a soft move is if you do it, you need to do it subtly. If you have to, have it done professionally.
Yeah, I made that mistake one day.
You know what I mean? Because
I had too much on the program.
Yeah, because sometimes if you overdo it and it's obvious, you're hustling backwards. You know what I mean? Because we all know that one dude who looks like really light complexion and the eyebrows are light brown, but all of a sudden the hair is super dark black, and you can see it just looks all crazy like a Lego hair. We don't want that.
As the elder statesman on this program, I'm well equipped to answer this question.
Okay.
I'm really fortunate that I only have a couple of grays sprinkled throughout my hair.
Right now.
And there is a length that I could cut it to where you won't see them.
Yes.
But that's not the same length where I could try to have waves.
Oh, we got pick. Right now you got the graves.
Correct. And so because I want to have waves, and Reg has me using this African oil.
It's Jamaican black castor oil.
I'm not going to also put coloring in my hair. I feel like that's too much.
That's too much. Now, there was one day when you had the Mike Woodson goatee, and I'll never forget that day.
That was not. I got beforehand. That's the Clyde Frazier, the Jimmy Walker.
That's a good point. Good
that's
point.
the Magic Johnson in '79.
I consider it the Mike Woodson goatee.
Come on now,
because his was so circular. You know,
it's a square.
Mike Woodson's is circular. But that day was rough, and it's one thing I get.
It looks like he was in a Bruce Lee movie.
So I have a lot of gray hair. You just don't really see it because I keep my hair short. One thing I always get insulted by is people saying, "Oh, you keep your hair short because you have gray hair." Like, first of all, look at a picture of me when I'm 15 years old.
That's one of the people.
Look at
a picture
of me when I'm 15
you're
years old.
You're too tall. You're too skinny. You're too heavy.
Yeah, it's just like look at a picture of me when I'm 15. I have the exact same haircut. Okay, I've had the same haircut forever.
Can I get an Obi-Wan Jacoby freestyle?
Yes. Can you get it on wax?
Yeah, absolutely. You said when you were 15?
No
Come on.
way.
So here's
wax.
something I want to do in this program.
No way can you get one on wax. Talk to my agent.
Two of my favorite people in the world that just so happen to work for ESPN. One is David Jacoby, the other is Max Kellerman. I need to get both of you guys on the program and spit bars from back in the day. Because both of you guys were former MCs.
I do have bars from, first of all, my dabbling it's like Katie LeBron MCing. You know what I mean? Like, I did it once. You know what I mean? But I'm not Dame Lillard MCing. Like, I've got one verse I think memorized, and it's full of really old references.
So if you out there listening to the program, I take that back. For everybody that can hear my voice listening to the program, make sure you at Max Kellerman and David Jacoby. There is no reason why I shouldn't have my brothers on the program talking about their rap names, their history of their rap careers. I know that Max has a video. I've seen it online.
Can I tell you the reason? Can I tell you the reason?
And you're hiding your footage.
Can I tell you the reason? Do you know why the reason? I don't want to. See, that's the reason.
Why?
That's the reason.
You get on me for lying to the people. You get on me for my past transgressions and decisions. And fat kangaroo Jalen, why can't we get on you?
I don't get on you for all your past transgressions and weaknesses. Some stuff stays off wax, just like the work of Obi-Wan Jacoby. There you have it.
But the work of Obi-Wan Jacoby was legal.
Yep.
Let's just leave it there. Let's play another voicemail before we get in trouble.
What up, though? This is Jordan from the place so nice they named it twice, New York, New York. The biggest shout out in the world to the homie Jalen Rose. I saw him Saturday night at the Garden. Had to scream out, give the people what they want, no hesitation. Jalen turns around, salutes. Then I saw him on the escalator on the way up. He was kind enough to take a picture. And shout out to Molly for giving a little bit of her date night up so a fan could get a picture. Much love to both you guys. Appreciate that. But I got a quick one here. Boss move or soft move? A grown man wearing another man's jersey. Now, hear me out. A kid, that's cool. I get it. A shirt, a jersey with a team name, love. That's all good. But to come through and wear another man, a player, whoever it is, another man's jersey as an adult, to me, it ain't flying. I can't wear someone else's name on my back. Let me know what you guys think. And again, keep getting them checks. Much love. Shout out to Reg. Shout out to Jacoby. I don't hear too many shout outs. Shout out to that man. Much love, guys. Take care.
What up, Doe Jordan? Thank you for the love. Representing NY. So nice, as he mentioned. Had to be named twice. The game at MSG was fun.
I loved it.
No question about it.
Close game.
Detroit got the win. Glad I got a chance to not only salute with you, but also take a picture. It's okay if you at Molly and give her a shout. Tell her thank you. If I'm not mistaken, she probably actually took the flick
picture.
for us.
I'll take a lot of pictures of you and other people.
No doubt. And so I want to answer his direct question and not be hypocritical. There was an era where jerseys were in style.
Oh, yeah. Throwbacks?
And I can't lie. I was over 21 years of age.
Oh, I'm sure you had I probably had like 8, so I'm sure you had a bunch.
And I had hundreds of individuals' jerseys, basketball, football, and baseball that I've worn.
Can I make a confession about a jersey I had?
Which one?
I'll tell you what happened. It was just a generic Penn State jersey I got for $20, but I took it to a store and had them stitch over the gum numbers, stitched on numbers, turned into an authentic. $20 fake jersey, $10 stitch on some numbers. Now I got an authentic.
There are jersey companies. That's a dope story. It's sentimental. That's going to make me shed a tear. They remind me when I went and bought a pair of NBAs from Payless, and I thought I was going to tear one of the stripes off and have some patent leather Adidas.
Hard to get that stripe off.
And then everybody knew because it only came off 40%.
Yeah, hard to get that stripe off.
So that idea had to scrap that immediately.
So these exist, and this sounds crazy. I don't know if you're listening to this, especially if you're under 30 years old. This sounds insane to you. I had a pair of sneakers that did not have a Nike check on them. It had a whale on them. An actual whale. Google these. These exist in the world. This is something that I wore that was in my closet, and I was so proud. I didn't know they weren't Nikes.
So in 2017, I understand since it's out of style, you want to say it's a boss move. But however, since we did see you at the Garden, if Porzingis was to lift his team this year to the NBA Finals, I think he would deserve you to rock his Jordan jersey.
Something like
Jersey Jordan.
When you make these sort of declarations, soft move, boss move, whatever, for me, I personally don't wear jerseys. That's my personal thing. But I don't think that it's a soft move for other people, too. You watch last night's Monday Night Football game. You look at the crowd in the Lincoln Field. Everyone's wearing an Eagles jersey. It's just what you do. Support the team. It's a way to support the team.
But I have a distinction, though. And I'm rolling with you on this one, Jordan. It better not be a tank top without a shirt under it. It better not.
That's a good look for a pool party?
No.
In the summertime?
Don't come hugging me with your underarm hairs all over me.
You don't shave your underarm hair?
Or the right guard that you put on and
all
over
black
my
shirt.
clothes. Not going to be able to do it. Oh.
So I would say this, Jordan, in summation, Jalen and I agree with you, but I have to say that it's not a soft move. It's just showing your fandom. People express the way their fans other ways. Sometimes, if you're going to support your team in a different city, you want to wear a jersey just to represent the colors of the team. There's nothing wrong with that. No. All right. I teased that we're going to have a special guest tomorrow. We're going to announce it right now. Jalen Rose, who's visiting us tomorrow for Woman Crush Wednesday?
Katie Nolan is joining the program.
So excited to have our new colleague. I've been a fan for a very long time of her work. She will be with us tomorrow, Woman Crush Wednesday. Ladies, don't forget to call 98580-JALEN and leave us a voicemail.
And here's the thing I have to stress.
What's that?
She's actually had a successful show called Garbage Time. Mm-hmm. And there will be one person on the program tomorrow that has an Emmy.
I've lost more Emmys, though. I've lost so many Emmys. Who's the NBA player that's gone to the finals like 15 times but never won? That's me.
Well, I mean, I went twice in college, once in the league. I'm a bridesmaid.
There's nothing wrong with second best. We'll be back tomorrow.